everyone, welcome back to Teen1D, and in this video we're going to be going over the symptoms of diabetes and pretty much going over a basic overview of like why they happen and also what to do if you have these symptoms. So first of all, let's start into the symptoms of diabetes. I'm going to be talking about type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and also symptoms that are just type 1, symptoms that are just type 2, and symptoms that both types of diabetes have. So first is like distinguish type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is when the autoimmune system attacks insulin-creating beta cells in the pancreas. So pretty much the insulin-creating cells are destroyed. So slowly you lose those cells which create insulin, and so no insulin causes no blood sugar to be able to move out of your bloodstream. What happens in type 2 diabetes is your body still makes insulin, but your cells' responsiveness to it start to decrease, and this is called insulin resistance. So this is what happens. So your insulin resistance starts building up and your use of insulin starts decreasing and becoming worse. So now let's go over the main symptoms of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So starting with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, we have frequent urination. So if you're like peeing a lot, going to the bathroom a lot, like just going constantly, way more than usual, this could be because of diabetes, as what happens is that high blood sugar pulls water away from your tissues more than like regularly. So more sugar causes more peeing. So if you have more peeing, it could be because of having diabetes. And this is from both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Also, another thing that is common is excessive thirst. Also, I want to point out that usually these symptoms happen in both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, but usually they progress faster and they are worse in type 1 diabetes. So another symptom is excessive thirst. This happens when you are losing lots of fluid through urine, and now you start feeling dehydrated and really thirsty due to the fact that your high blood sugar is pulling away the water from your tissues and causing you to urinate a lot. And then also you might have increased hunger, and this is because you need glucose for energy, but your glucose isn't actually able to be pulled out of your bloodstream. So although you have a lot of sugar, but it's all just in your bloodstream, so you're not able to actually distribute it to your cells. So it kind of just builds up in your bloodstream, and yeah, this is why you'll have increased hunger. Another thing is unexplained weight loss. Especially in type 1 diabetes, your body starts burning fat instead, as it can't use sugar from the bloodstream, and so it starts burning fat, and burning fat for energy causes ketones to also be distributed to your blood sugar, which kind of is really bad because it can affect the pH of your bloodstream, which overall is like the main cause of death of main bad symptom that can actually be like life-threatening, because it can get you into DKA, which is, yeah, it's life-threatening because it makes your blood like acidic. Also, fatigue is one thing, just because no fuel in your cells causes lack of energy, which is kind of self-explanatory. You can feel tired, and this fatigue can also be like in your stomach kind of, which is kind of what I felt when I was diagnosed. I kind of felt like I was going to throw up like all the time, but I wasn't really throwing up yet. But yeah, you kind of feel like you're like hungry all the time, but like it's kind of in your stomach a bit, and you kind of feel fatigue in your stomach. Also, blurred vision, because high blood sugar effect is blurred vision, as the fluid levels in your eyes are much less. You have much less fluid in your eyes, which causes like swelling and like a lack of like blurry vision and vision in general. Also, your wounds could also heal less due to the damage in your blood vessels and your immune response as well. Another thing, especially frequent in type 2 diabetes, but also in type 1, is nerve damage can cause tingling or numbness. This is usually a long-term effect of diabetes, but it could happen when you're first diagnosed as well. It's just less common. Let's go to only type 1 diabetic symptoms, which are usually in kids and teens, but it could also happen in adults. And usually the biggest thing with these symptoms they happen faster than type 2 diabetes. So like rapid weight loss, nausea and vomiting is a big one. So in like both of them, you might feel a bit of nausea. Like in type 2 diabetes, you might feel a bit of nausea, but in type 1 diabetes, it happens faster and you could feel more nausea. And the nausea could eventually lead to vomiting, which happens due to DKA and the ketones in your bloodstream. You could also have stomach pain, which is something that I kind of had a lot too. Fruity smelling breath is something that I don't think I experienced, but this is because of the ketones in your body, as it's burning fat for fuel. Also, you could be in DKA, which is a medical emergency where I talked about a bit earlier, which can also happen in type 2 diabetes, but it's just happens much slower and usually doesn't really get to a point where it happens. But yeah, this is when your blood becomes dangerously acidic and it's kind of a medical emergency. So what you should do is you should just immediately get medical help and go to the doctor as soon as possible, or call someone saying like, oh, you have these symptoms, is this something to be worried about? And then they'll probably say like, oh, you're gonna have to go to the doctor. All right, now let's go to only type 2 diabetic symptoms. And actually at first you might not have symptoms at all, like for years. It's kind of like a progressive buildup. So your blood sugar could just be like normal, slightly out of range, slightly out of range, slightly out of range, and then keep going until you actually get symptoms. But some symptoms could be dark patches of skin, and this is called acanthosis nigricans, which is like in your neck and armpits you could have dark spots, as well as like you could have frequent infections due to the high blood sugar, and also tingling or numbness is especially common in type 2 diabetes because as it happens gradually, you could have the effect of high blood sugar impact you in like long-term effects such as tingling or numbness. So yeah, many people don't even realize that they have complications, but the best way is to kind of check your blood sugar every once in a while, like for the regular person, especially if you have like type 2 diabetes running in the family. And so if you see that your blood sugar is high, you can call someone. Or if you start feeling these symptoms, which is like seeing dark patches, frequent infections, or tingling numbness, you can call someone and yeah, and you can get some medical help. So if any of these signs happen, you should not wait. You should try to go see a doctor. Especially type 2 diabetes, it can be managed or even reversed with like, not reversed, but like managed really well with healthy eating, exercise, and medication sometimes. But with especially with type 1 diabetes, it needs like immediate action as you need insulin to survive. So you need to go to the doctor immediately. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video about type 1, type 2 diabetes and what to do and all the symptoms about it. And see you later.